Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit here in the shop, just getting set up. I don't really have a great plan. I have some sticks and this is just a CD with a piece of Pop-Tart box on it. What can we make? Oh, how about like a war tent? Alright, so the front of your war tent, where it opens up, you're going to want that to be kind of nice. But for the back of your war tent, you can kind of have that be just cardboard or anything you got, I suppose. So let's do that. Let's make a little war tent. Find a good height, maybe something like about like that. You want to kind of come down from the center. Probably want to bring these down at an angle too. Yeah, I think something like that could work. Might want a couple of those. And they don't have to be perfect. Perfection is not a prerequisite of good crafts. All right. There we go. All right, so let's get something going with that. Then we want to kind of get something going back here to represent the back part. And all this is just to hold up material, you know. We're going to use probably like old t-shirts or something, I'm guessing. We'll do it. Excuse me, I just came out of the pool and I think I swallowed some water on my way out. Something like this will work. Now for the front part we want to use, probably want to use sticks, I'm guessing. So we want to capture that same kind of shape with sticks. And the reason we want to do it with sticks on this side, in theory, is so that about how long is that? About yay long. The reason we want to do it with sticks on this side is so that we can have it open on this side and it looks okay. If we use that cardboard, it won't look very nice, I don't think. We're just going to get a dab of that, stick that up, kind of in that same shape. Let it sit for a second, get a little bit on that one too. Okay. Something like that. Just kind of keeping the same shape going. We need about that long. And about that. We'll cut that off and get 2 of those. And something like that. I don't know if you guys can see well, so I'll come check in a second. Okay. And we probably want to strengthen this up, so I'm guessing I'll just do that by Getting this under here in place. Getting it under here in place. And then we're going to leave that open. Okay. So we're going to need a part to go across the top here to be like where the tent flap comes down. And the door of the tent is. Then once that dries up a little bit, we'll cut off that excess. So the goal is to have the tent come all the way down around the edges, and then to have dirt or sand or something on the outside like the tent's, you know, there. So it's kind of what I have going on in my mind. Okay. So we need some material. So I guess let's start with an old t-shirt and a pair of scissors. Let's source some material for this. Now what's nice about this is, one, the shirt wasn't in good enough shape to give to the Goodwill or anything. And two, what's going to look more like fabric? Paper or fabric? Now we know we need it to be about yay wide. So let's start at the bottom and cut them wide enough to do what we need. Start in the back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue up on that. Oops. And then getting our glue stick going here. Hold on. Whoa, almost lost the glue gun. Alright, we'll let that sit for a minute. We'll kind of snip off some of this excess stuff down here. Or really, you don't even need to. You could probably just tuck that in. Yeah, you can just tuck that in. So we want to get some of this extra off the top, though, because that will be in the way. And you might want to snip that bottom here so it's not sticking up too far. Okay, so we're just getting an old t-shirt. Just glue that in there so it's not in the way. Okay. Now that didn't come all the way down to the bottom, so we're just going to tear that up a little bit, just a little bit, and stretch it down. We're going to get a little bit of glue on the base bottom part. And we want to pull that down and get that on there. Okay. That burns. That's alright. It won't kill you. It's just a little bit of burn. There we go. And we want to push that away from the edge a little bit so our grass will go. Alright, and this piece is the same deal. We want to get that back in there out of the way. Okay. I gotta quit burning myself. I'm really bad about that. Yeah, can't do that. As I suspected, I am the worst. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let's cut that across so it's kind of flat. Do the same thing. We're just going to get it going here. Up the side. A little bit up the side. That did burn really bad. That hurt me. I am dying. Wow, I usually don't feel pain like that. I swear, it's crazy. Maybe it's just right there in that knuckle. Oh, that's why. I took a giant chunk. That's alright. Be careful with glue, guys. It can burn you, I guess. It's the lesson of today's story. You can be burnt. So with this, I'm just going to get some of this. I'm going to smush it down get in here and smush it down. There we go. Tuck that down inside. Get that tucked in there. Get a little bit of glue. Rub that way. Man, I really did take a chunk of that, didn't I? Nice. That'll learn me. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to keep cutting around until we get to the wood part. Okay. Okay. And we're just gonna get this, get a little bit of glue, shove it in there, shove that down in there. We don't need that part as much. And we want to get some of this glue here. Shove that down. Okay. So we're starting to get a good base work for a base for it going. And when you get this, you probably want to do some kind of thing to glue this around where you want it, or you might not be super happy with the result. And so I'm just gonna kind of push that around and move that where I can. There we go. Something like that. Just pull it around to get the base seated how I want it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's gotta be sturdy because you don't want this popping up or moving. Alright, so this next part, we kind of want less fabric for that coming around the door part here. So let's get a piece of this cut off. Let's do this front part here kind of first. We're just going to get a piece of glue up here like that. We're going to pull this a little bit tight over that and just snug that around. Pull that out so it holds. We want to do the same thing up here, kind of. Now, generally, you'd have some sticking up, some sticks and stuff sticking out the top, so I'm trying to leave that open so I can play with that. I have some ideas, but it's not going to be perfect. Okay. Let's get this side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm just going to connect it right here first. Now I'm going to start working across the bottom. Man, I had some juicy gossip, but none of you would care. I'm not sure if I care. I may or may not be getting another job here very shortly. As much as I love my company, I love my job, I received an offer that is, well, I'll know more tomorrow, but I'd be a dumbass not to take it, basically, is what the conclusion is. I like my boss a lot. I love my company. But I got a family. And it's still within the same type of field, doing similar stuff. Just not as much of variety in it and a lot more of the same. So we will see how that works. Alright. Starting over here, let's get that in place first. Oops, that's a lot of glue. We're going to work our way across the bottom, getting that in place. We're going to come up here, draw that. Okay. Now this is supposed to represent multiple layers of cloth that have been, it probably wouldn't even be cloth, and I'm going to paint it more like animal skin most likely, but this is supposed to represent something that's been made out of multiple pieces over time. So what I want to do here is get a thin piece of stick. Kind of roll that. Alright, we need two thin pieces to go up to be the poles that would hold that. We need those to be at about that height. Let's come back and see if this is tightened up. No, we need to tighten that up. So I'm just going to pull that around. Oh, good glue all over me. Alright, so let's snip some of that off. So what we want to do is we want to make the entrance kind of come out like that. Okay? So you want to do a dab of glue, dab of glue. And you want to move this around and collect some of that and drag it up so it holds nice on both sides. Okay, and once you get that in position, if one's a little bigger, just snip it off. Okay, then we want a piece that'll fit across there nice. There we go. That might be a little small. Alright, so we're just continuing on here, adding to it as we see fit. Now I'm just kind of creating the frame that that will sit on. So what I want to do is get a little bit of glue on this. Get that in place to where it stays. And then this, if I made my guess right, will sit on there and hang off the edge some. Maybe not. Maybe that was not a good guess. Alright, let's snip that off. Oops. Dude, learn how to use scissors, Doom. Yeah, I know. Alright, that's too small. Let's cut another piece. It happens. Perfection is not my bag, baby. It doesn't have to be yours either. Remember, perfection is not a prerequisite of a good craft. As long as we stick with it and we get a natural, organic look, we will likely be happy with our end results. Alright, something like that. There we go. Nice. Okay, now we're just going to glue our frame, coat. We're going to pull that a little bit tight, but not super tight. Okay, and just kind of roll that down. Okay, so now we have this nice little, we're going to have to do some adjustments here and there. That's okay. Pull our cloth around and get it to where it's all hooked in. Alright. And then we want to get our little off-cut pieces that we had and cut these into patches that they may have applied later. You don't want these to be flat on the edges. You want these to be curved to look like, you know, jaggedy and shit. Alright, so for these, you can just kind of get a tiny bit glue, watching that you don't burn yourself. And any seams that you didn't like how they looked, you're just going to clean those up. Then also, this might be a good time if you have any like ends that look like knots that you can use, like something like this would be good. So this is like a little notching piece here to represent what would have been the center pole coming up. Just get that in there and pull the fabric back and then glue the fabric back around it if you need to. And any little gaps you leave in there is fine, because dudes, there's usually a gap for a little bit of what you call it to come out the top, smoke. There doesn't have to be, but there could be. So I'm just going to fold this. I'm going to cut that up and make it into a little patch. Cover up any seams I don't like. I don't like this seam over here. So I'm just going to put a little glue on it. Grab that. Cover that spot up. And just smear it out so the glue stretches and it catches on all the edges. Alright, so you could put a couple more little sticks coming out of there if you wanted, and that wouldn't hurt anything. The ones I did before, I actually got fork tines and plastic bones and came out on all these spots, but this is supposed to look more like a, more in tune with, you know, this isn't like an orc necessarily did this. This is kind of like maybe settlers did this, or barbarians that have like a system of stuff they carry with them when they travel. That's what I was kind of going for. Alright, so I feel like we got a good look going here. Alright, I caught that on fire. Obviously, too much heat. Alright, so here's what we got. And when we come back, I'm going to have this clear coated. And I'm going to have some flock around the outside here. Maybe I'll do the flock later, actually. I'll probably just do some dirt. I'll just put some gravel there, maybe, or some something like that. I don't know. I haven't decided. But when I come back, this will be base coated, and then we'll do some paint work. If you want to make sure this is sturdy, make sure you come in and fill your holes with super or hot glue. If you have any sticking out spots that are loose, just rub them in. And I'm pretty happy with what we got there. Let's go ahead and, I apologize. I said I was going to stop there, but we're at not quite 30 minutes. Let's get some glue and a piece of cardboard. Let's get that condom off there. Get a cheap brush or an old brush or a brush we don't love. Let's get in there and get some dirt on that. Because I feel like we'll regret it if I wait. Or I'll forget. Who knows what I'll do. I'm going to get a little inside there too. Not a whole lot. Because this tent doesn't have a floor. It's just dirt, gravel or whatever. Okay. And we're going to just use a little bit of flock. I got some brown here. That'll work. Alright, dudes. When I come back, I'll hit this with a clear coat, and then I'll hit it with a black primer. And that'll stiffen up this fabric some, so that it takes paint better. And this, I have to let this dry, where this crap is on here. So give it, and this needs to sturdy up. I might hit that with a little dab of stupid glue, or hot glue, just to make sure it's sturdy. There we go. Alright, we'll let that sit for a little bit, and I'll base coat that, and we'll come back and we'll paint this up. And if you're curious as to what it's kind of going to look like, it's going to look something like that. Except for that's going to be all black in there, and then we're going to paint this brown. I think it could do with another patch or two. Let's do one more patch. What do you think? One more patch! Yeah. Big patch. You could get really fancy with this if you wanted to, and make these cut these into animal skin shapes. I'm not feeling that, but you could definitely do that, and that'd be cool. On some of my other ones, I think I actually did that, but I'm not doing that this time, man. I'm just not feeling it. All right, so there we go. Something like that. See you in a little bit with part 2. If you like what we're doing here, oh my gosh, that thing's nasty. It's like leaking and stuff. If you like what we're doing here, like and subscribe, or don't, that's fine. We'll make it either way. If you want to buy miniatures, www.dungeon-swag.com. Discount code in the description. Thanks for watching.